I'm Layla.
And we have Annie Craven with us today. Did I
Hi
say it?
guys.
And you're running for Iowa House.
Yes,
What district?
it is District 46. So that is the Dallas County portion of Urbandale. For Polk County, it's Grimes. And then we go up toward Boughton, Woodward, Granger, I believe Dallas Center as well. So it's
Okay.
an interesting shaped district.
Fair enough. A lot of the Iowa districts are shaped very interestingly. We've
They are,
discovered.
yeah.
So you were kind of in the outskirts of the Des Moines area, yeah?
Yeah, yep. I
Okay,
live
perfect.
about 20 minutes from downtown. So,
Nice. Far
yep,
enough away to not be in the city, but close enough to get there quickly so you have fun stuff to do all the time.
exactly.
So, what inspired you to run for Iowa House?
Yeah, so I was never someone who envisioned myself as running for a political office. I was always politically aware and I cared about politics quite a bit, but that didn't really seem like something that I would be interested in or want to do. But that has kind of changed for me over the last couple of years, for obvious reasons on a national scale. Um, but in 2025, I decided that I was just going to start saying yes to things. So I did the Ready to Run seminars earlier in 2025, and I completed that. I think it was like 3 or 4 seminars and an all day in person thing. Um, and I was like, you know what? It really is just like normal people who want to do good things who are running. And I am a person who wants to do good things. So I'm not seeing someone in my district who, you know, reflects my values. At that point, I didn't know was going to have a primary opponent. So I was just looking at who is currently in my seat. Um, and I agree with almost nothing that he does. Um, and so I was like, why not me? I'll give it a try. And if people like me and think that my ideas are good and that I could be an effective legislator, then they'll vote for me. And if they don't, at least I tried. So that's kind of why I decided to run for this seat specifically, because I do live in a very mixed district. And the last time that someone ran in this seat in 2022, the Democrats only lost by under 1,000 votes. So it's not like super deep red. We just need to be talking to the people who live here and find out what they want to do. So that's my plan.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So the next question is, do you have a primary opponent? Which you
I
do, you
do.
mentioned.
Yes.
What makes you different from other Democratic candidates and your
Mhm.
primary opponent?
Yeah. So I actually grew up in an extremely conservative household. I was raised on Fox News. I listened to Rush Limbaugh on the way to piano lessons. And then, I grew up, I moved out, I started getting information from other sources. I never identified as a conservative, even when I was young. The first time I voted was in 2008 for Obama. So definitely the conservatism did not stick in my person. So I basically just was looking to, affect change that affects real people. And, things like water quality and funding public education and believing that queer people have a right to exist. I am bisexual, so that was quite a journey for me living in a conservative household, coming to that conclusion. I am openly bisexual. Um, and so those are some things that really mattered to me. Currently, the person in my seat, from what I've heard from people in the legislature, people who know him on a personal level, people who've worked with him, he doesn't do much. He kind of goes along to get along. I think that my district deserves something a little bit more than that. Someone who has actual values and principles that they stand behind and can articulate why they think the way that they do. I think that it's important to have principles like be a good person and your life should be improved by other people's lives being improved, not I got mine, so screw you, basically. Um, and then, yeah, I am running in a primary. So that is June 2nd of 2026 is when my primary is taking place. When I entered the race, I didn't know that I had a primary opponent. I've learned a little bit about her over the last few weeks since I announced. Um, yeah, we just seem to have a little bit of a difference in policy as well as strategy. Um, I believe that you should ask for what you want and you'll get somewhere in the middle instead of saying this is how things are. So we just kind of have to try to work around what already exists. Obviously, we don't have a majority right now. And even things like regulating school vouchers, they're they're working exactly how they were designed to, and Republicans don't really have any reason to want to change the system. So if we're going to start fighting for it, we might as well start from a position of we need to be rolling these back and eventually eliminating them, not just saying we need to audit them and then kind of tinker around the edges to try to make them a little bit better. That may end up being what happens, but that's not where we should start the fight by any means.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting.
Hmm.
Anytime you're trying to negotiate something, right? Because that's what all
Yeah,
of this is one big
exactly.
negotiation. You don't start asking for middle ground, you start asking for the impossible, right?
Yes.
So you can work to the middle ground together.
Hmm.
Like, so I think that's a great description of
Thank you.
how things should run.
Yeah.
Um, okay. I just lost myself in the list. Big surprise. Do you have a favorite political TikToker or a favorite political podcast that you listen to?
So that is a great question. I actually don't use TikTok a lot,
Sure.
which is also why I'm not super active on it. I have a handful of videos, but I actually work from home, so I have the luxury of being able to watch content while I'm working because most of my job is very data and process centered. Um, so I watch a lot of YouTube.
Okay.
So I mean, I watch leftist media. I watch Hassan Piker and The Humanist Report and Kyle Kalinske and John Idarola and Francesca Fiorentini and um, yeah, people like that who basically, we're all about being humanists and and populist messages of we should do things that are good for regular working people. And the reason that we can't do that is because six guys own most of the wealth in the world. And pretending that that's not the reason that we can't have nice things is a choice, but it's not the reality that I live in. So,
Right. All right. Now we have a list. I have a list
okay.
of people. I know the obvious, like I know of
Yes.
Hassan Piker. Everybody knows Hassan Piker.
Yes.
Um,
Everybody knows who Hassan is.
right. Not for any particular reason at all, I'm
Absolutely not.
sure. Uh-uh. Um, so are you planning on taking corporate PAC money if it's offered to you, or will you take corporate PAC money once you're in office?
Absolutely unequivocally no. I am running a progressive campaign. I am raising small dollar donations. I'm not planning on taking any corporate money, any super PAC money, any dark money. The only type of PAC money that I would even consider accepting would be from left nonprofit PACs like the Iowa Unity Coalition and
Yeah,
things like that, where the money would be coming from dues from members. No, even if I get elected, I won't even take meetings with corporate lobbyists.
perfect.
I don't really care what they have to say. I don't need to be flattered and wined and dined to try to do things that are against my value system. So that is a promise I can make right now.
Amazing. Love to hear that.
Hmm.
Yeah, and we are big fans of advocacy PACs,
Yes.
Planned Parenthood, even, even the bigger ones. But Walmart has no business telling our legislators how to, effectively run the
Mhm.
state. I feel there,
Absolutely.
that's a whole thing. Um, let's see. Layla, you want to ask the major minor question because I always screw it up. I don't, Layla, are you muted?
Oh,
Yeah,
there we
usually it unmutes if I click the space bar, but it wasn't working.
go.
Okay,
Gotta love
so
technology.
I don't.
No.
If the legislature were positioned like college, what would you major in and what would you minor in?
Oh gosh. I would probably major in environmental studies and I would minor in, can I pick two? Is that okay?
Or
Education and infrastructure.
okay. So water quality is a big deal to you then, I'm assuming.
Water quality is a huge deal to me. I honestly, I mean, I understand it, but I don't want to on why our water quality is so bad.
Yeah.
Um, Especially even when you compare us to other agriculture states, our water quality is atrocious.
Yeah.
I like being number one. Number one in cancer growth was not not the trophy that I was planning to chase. I would like to be number 50 in that.
Wouldn't that be great? I'd like
Yeah,
to not register on that list at all. Can we
exactly.
secede
Yeah.
from that
Can
program
we be like
altogether?
53rd out of 50? Like, I'll take that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Um, let's see. Tell us about some ways that you're active in your community.
Yes. So I've just recently started volunteering for the Grimes Food Bank. So I've done my training and I'm starting to sign up for shifts to do that because I don't live in Grimes, but it is my largest voting block. I want to be able to hear from actual people who live in Grimes who are struggling, what they need, what they want, be able to help offer aid to them. Um, then obviously, I'm going to lots of events. I've organized when I worked in an office, I organized Adopt a Family for my department. 2 or 3 years in a row, we adopted like 6 kids, and I got all of the gift cards together and got to go shopping and bring everything back to the office. And I just love doing things like that. Bringing small joy to people. On a more social level, and unfortunately, this business is not in my district, which makes me really sad. But over by Jordan Creek Town Center, I am part of a dance fitness studio called Pulse, and it's one of my favorite places in the whole world. I've been going there for the last 2 years, and it's basically become my entire personality. I've got a lot of friends there. Most of the friends that are helping me with my race go there. So it's just a great and extremely positive women empowering place to dance and work out and have fun and not feel shame about wanting to dance and work out and have fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
We've also seen a lot of pictures of you outdoor knocking
Yes,
and
I've been door
helping.
knocking for Renee
Yeah.
Hardman. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. One of my favorite things to see is when candidates kind of band together and
Yeah.
help each other, right?
Hmm.
In their
Absolutely.
own races. And right now with special elections, it's a lot easier to do that because
Yeah.
most people aren't running full speed elections right now.
Yeah.
I think that one of my biggest gripes with a lot of candidates is that they're zero active in their
Hmm.
communities. They're not out talking to people. They're not
Hmm.
volunteering. They're not organizing. They're not doing anything. They're just running.
Yeah.
And I think this is my personal opinion, obviously, but I think that's how we end up with a lot of do nothing
Hmm.
Democrats, and um, and I think that's really disappointing. So I always really enjoy it when we see a candidate
Hmm.
that's actually out in the wild, like being a
Yeah.
normal person and being active in their communities and helping other people do other things, whether that's
Hmm.
campaigning or the food bank or,
Hmm.
any of the above. So I think it's
Yeah.
really cool.
Well,
Um,
yeah, thank you. And it's been a blast canvassing for Renee. She is such a positive person and she's just so wonderful. And I can't wait for her to win on Tuesday.
right.
Um, And just knocking the doors in her district, people have been so excited, or they had no idea a special election was happening. They're
Yeah.
like, it's literally one or the other. So, yeah, definitely having that direct face to face with voters, because voter apathy is so real.
Oh yeah.
And that I think is one of our biggest issues, especially as Democrats, is that we need to be connecting with our voters,
Hmm.
but they need to feel like we are actually beholden to them. Because I don't want to be beholden to anyone except for the people who voted for me in my district, and even the people that don't vote for me in my district,
Right.
because I'm still representing them either way. And so I want to know what's important to them. I want to know what, because, change can be massive, but it can also be really small. And sometimes really, really small changes make way more of a difference for your everyday life than a huge, massive change. Not that we shouldn't go after those huge, massive changes, because we absolutely should. But, just little things that maybe I wouldn't even think about because that's not my experience could be extremely real and life defining to somebody else, and I would never know that if I didn't talk to them. So I want people to not just vote for me because they don't want to vote for the Republican who's in my seat, or because, it's not about someone else bad. It's, I want you to be excited about me running because you believe in my mission and my vision, and you want to help me make that happen. Um, and this is my first time running, so you can say, you're pie in the sky, you're super naive. I'm hopeful. I don't think that I'm naive. I understand that this is not going to be, fairy tales and unicorns, and it's going to be so great and everyone's going to be so nice to me all the time. But that's also not why I'm running. And if I felt that, there was someone who was running that matched my vision enough and I felt like could be really effective, then I wouldn't be running, because I'm not doing this because I super want to be in the legislature. I'm doing it because I don't feel like we have the right people stepping up, and I hope to be that right person for people. So
Awesome. I think pie in the sky is exactly what we need right now.
yeah.
That's exactly what we need. Politics in general have been hopeless
Hmm.
and defeatist for a really, really long time. And
Yes.
it's really hard to be a hopeful person and hold hope for
Yes.
the future in a space that is so like driven by negativity.
Yes.
So I think the more, pie in the sky people we can get on board, the
Yes.
better.
Yeah.
Um,
If we get enough of us together, we could actually maybe accomplish some of those things. So
Crazy, right? How
yeah.
that would work.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so this next question is very, very serious.
Okay.
Um, Cats or dogs, and why?
Oh wow. Okay. No,
It's a
that's
serious,
real. Okay.
yeah.
So this is going to be my nuanced answer. Cats, because I have them. I have two cats. I grew up with cats and dogs. And I love dogs. Don't get me wrong. I like to become friends with every dog that I interact with. When I was door knocking, I was making friends with people's dogs. But for me, I just love cats so much. I think it's because I kind of see myself in them. I when you first meet me, especially in, a large group setting or something, I can be quite reserved and I can be a little cold. Um, but once you get to know me, I'm very warm and friendly. And that's kind of the same for cats. You kind of have to work for their affection, but once you have it, you have it. And there's no better feeling than when your cat is sitting on you and just like purring like a Mack truck because they're so excited that you just came home from vacation. I do really love dogs too. Um, I love other people's dogs. I love getting to visit dogs. My in-laws have two pretty large dogs. They have one that is 55 pounds and one that's about 90 pounds.
Holy
The
crap.
90 pound and the 90 pounder is a lap dog. Um, and I love them and they're so great. but I also like being able to go on vacation and not have to board my pets or have to go outside when it's negative 30 degrees out so that they can go to the bathroom. So for how I live my life, I know that I wouldn't be a great dog owner, but I do love them a lot. For my lifestyle, cats are where it's at. So I'm going to have to say cats.
That's fair. So we have three dogs, three
Hmm.
very, very rambunctious dogs. We have a husky,
Oh, yes. Yes.
which, yeah. And then we have two other dogs. We have a Papillon,
Hmm.
and Ollie is kind of a mutt, but he's like
Yeah.
a pointer bully mix. And
Oh.
they're like small, medium, and large. Um,
Oh,
Pi-
hi.
Piper's the size of a cat. And the husky's the size of a human being.
Yes.
And I love them all dearly. And because of living with them, I would also say cats because it's cold outside.
It is
And
very, very cold.
when the dogs and when it's cold outside, the husky's good, but especially the little dog, when it's cold
Hmm.
outside, if it's raining, if
Hmm.
there's snow on the ground, she is a
Yep.
princess. She will put her paw down and then yank it back and turn around and go back inside and pee on the floor.
Yeah.
Um, because she's like, I'm not doing that. And
Yeah.
I kind of don't blame her. I don't think I'd want
Honestly,
to be
yeah.
outside either.
If I had to go outside and it was that cold, I'd also be like, no, thank you.
Right? But the boarding thing, that's a very real thing. I don't
Yeah.
think when we got dogs, when we got the first dog was the little one, but when we got
Yes.
a dog the first time, I don't think we ever thought of, oh, we're gonna have to like figure out what to do with these living, breathing animals when we
Hmm.
want to go away for a week, right?
Hmm.
And now like we're like, well, we can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So, so cats would be nice
Yeah.
in that aspect. I would love that, and not having to go outside in the freezing cold, which I'm
Hmm.
lazy, and my children take the dogs out most of the time anyways. But we've done the trick where you like let
Hmm.
the dog out and shut the door on the leash so
Yes.
you can stay inside in the
Yep.
warmth. But yeah, very
Yes.
serious question.
When I had dogs as a kid, we would do that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that the boarding thing is real because for my cats, obviously like we don't leave them alone for a week when we go
Right.
on vacation. But I have a couple of friends who will come over every
Mhm.
day and give them new water and give them pets and check in with us and let them know
Yeah.
how they're doing. And that's so great because they don't have to come over 5 times a day to let them out.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So let's see. What are your top priorities? But you cannot answer this question with healthcare, water quality, or education.
Okay. Um, so my biggest priorities are going to be um, affordability. Obviously, healthcare ties into that, but not completely
Yep.
healthcare. Um, I mean, our minimum wage has been the same since 2009. I was a working high schooler, or actually, technically freshman in college when that happened. So I remember getting paid minimum wage
Mhm.
and then getting paid $9. And, when you're 19, that seems like a lot of money.
Right.
Um, when you're trying to support a family,
Not so
it's
much.
it's not a lot of money. So like 725, it's crazy. And I hate the argument that, well, oh well, it's just kids on their summer part-time job. I mean, it's not. Obviously, a lot of people don't work minimum wage, but a lot of people who work above minimum wage work below a living wage.
Mhm.
And so I would like to see Iowa raise our minimum wage to a living wage and tie it to inflation so that we don't have to keep having this argument because we just need to get to a place where a single person can work a full-time job and afford a place to live without roommates and food and a car payment and their insurance and be able to do all of those things. And I don't think that that's an insane thing to say for the wealthiest nation in the world, that people should be able to not live with roommates if they don't want to.
Right.
um, Also, environment is obviously extremely important, not just water quality. Our air quality is also really bad. I do appreciate that in Iowa, about, I think actually now a little over 50% of our energy comes from renewable resources, but we have so much land. We have a lot of water to work with. We could be doing even more to use those renewable sources of energy, and also discontinue building large data centers for AI. Because one, it's horrible for our environment. Two, it's taking jobs faster than anyone thought that it would, and not the type of jobs that people thought it was going to be. It's truck drivers, it's recording artists, it's regular artists, it's photographers, it's copywriters. It's like the jobs that everyone thought would be safe from AI are the first ones to go. So we also need to be regulating AI in addition to not building more data centers here to poison our air. I forget what the other off-topic ones were, so I guess I'll just keep it at that. But obviously, yes, education. You've seen my TikTok videos; very important to me as well. And also legalizing cannabis and psilocybin. We have tens or even potentially hundreds of millions of tax dollars going to our neighboring states. Because we don't have that here. And not only do we not have it here, we have stricter regulations on hemp than is federally legal, because reasons. Like, it literally makes no sense. And also, we're an agriculture state. That could be a huge boom for our farmers, especially our soybean farmers who are losing out on their businesses to China because of this tariff war that we're having, and having China go to Brazil and other South American countries to get things that they used to get from us. Um, we need to start growing other crops that can be sustainable and can really improve the economy of Iowa. So, yeah, I would say that those are the things that I'm running on that aren't the obvious.
Perfect. Layla, do you have anything? AI came up, so I figure you might want to chirp in. It's your
Yeah.
favorite topic.
No.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
do you want me to take the questions, or do you
Yeah,
want to?
go for it.
Okay, I forget where we're at. Oh, I found it. I found
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
How are you feeling on the private school voucher program?
Well, if you guys haven't seen it, please check out my video on TikTok. I am at Craven for Change. So that's my last name, the number 4 change. That is my social media handle across TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Reels, all the things. So I am decidedly not for school vouchers. As someone who both attended private school and has family and friends who are public school teachers, um, they they sold school vouchers in a very disingenuous way, trying to say it's about school choice and it's about low income families being able to send their kids to better education. And the data just hasn't shown that to be true on a national level. If you look at the numbers, because obviously Iowa is not the only state that has school vouchers, they've actually seen that when you take kids out of the public school system and put them into private school in a statistical frame, that their performance actually decreases significantly. I think Bleeding Heart had an article about how it was actually as impactful in school performance as Hurricane Katrina and COVID, as far as how detrimental it is. So, one, private schools aren't always better than public schools, especially very small religious private schools. Rural areas don't have access to them anyway, but their schools are getting defunded and they have no other option but to send their kid to the underfunded public school or homeschool them, which I was also homeschooled. I don't want to get too into the weeds on everything there, but let's just say if I had kids, I wouldn't homeschool them. But I do know that it is an extremely valid option for some people, especially if their child has unique needs, that, you know, sending them to a classroom of 30 students to one teacher, they're not going to get the support they need. And that's extremely valid. And I take no issue with that. But yeah, again, siphoning funds from our public schools and then saying, well, look how poorly our public schools are doing. We should cut their funding more. Yeah, I mean, if I break my ankle and I'm like, oh, my ankle hurts, and then they're like, well, have you tried smashing your toe with a hammer to see if that helped your ankle? Like, no, I'm just going to be in more pain, and now I really can't walk on it. So,
I really like it goes along with the pull yourself up by the bootstraps thing. How do you
which
pull
literally used
yourself
to
up?
be a joke about how it's impossible to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. But
Yes,
now we use that as reasoning of why
we
being
take
poor
boots
is a moral
away.
failing.
Yeah, so like
Yeah,
let's take the boots away and see if they do a better job. It doesn't make
yeah,
any sense to me. Anyways,
exactly.
Layla, you can keep going. I had to put in my 2 cents.
Okay. Um, if you could pass legislation on like on a petty grievance, what would it be and why?
Oh
I'll give
God.
you an example for mine. Um,
Okay.
so I'm in favor of public transportation for all of the obvious reasons:
Hmm.
environment, accessibility, affordability, safety, all that jazz, but also to get bad drivers out of my way on the road.
Absolutely. Okay, so I would say, and this isn't so much petty as it is selfish. So this is my selfish reason. I would pass high-speed rail that connects Iowa to other, or I mean specifically Des Moines to other major Midwest cities. So Chicago, Minneapolis, Kansas City, St. Louis, Madison, Milwaukee, um, Omaha. Because excuse me, my parents-in-law live in Wisconsin, and it's like a 4.5 hour drive. Or you can also take a plane to Denver and then to Madison, and it takes 5 hours. So I would get high speed rail so that I can visit my in laws and their dogs more conveniently for me.
Yeah.
I like that.
I feel like
Yes.
that's valid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, what would you consider valid experience for someone who's running for Iowa House?
So I think that valid experience is an interesting term because if you've never run for office before, you've never run for office before, which means you've never been in office, which means you don't really know 100% exactly how it works. I mean, you can talk to representatives, you can talk to clerks, you can talk to attorneys that draft the bills for the legislature, but you don't really know what the job is until you're in it. So I think that some things that are important are that you are from the place that you're representing. For me, I've lived in Iowa for 34 of my 36 years on this earth. I lived in Wisconsin for 2 years and then came back. I've lived in my district for 5 years. I grew up in Urbandale, Polk County. I went to high school in West Des Moines. So I've been in this area for most of my life. And so my friends are here, my family is here, my community is here. I listen to them when they tell me things. And I think that's really important to know your district and know your constituents and know what their concerns are. And I think that those are the most important things because at the end of the day, we're running to represent other people because we don't have a straight democracy where every single person votes on. You know, 30,000 people pick a person, and that person votes in hopefully their best interest. So I think that being able to listen and be able to change your views when you're presented with new information are things that are really important for someone who's looking to run for office.
Yeah. What keeps you going right now?
So definitely my friends at Pulse, they help me, they give me a safe place to vent. They keep me going. They've, you know, I have my we call her my chief sticker and button um maker. So she's made me these adorable stickers and buttons, and we're all huge Taylor Swift fans. So we go to Taylor Fest together, and she made me friendship bracelet stickers for my campaign that say Craven for Change on them. And honestly, also my family, like I said, I grew up conservative. My parents are still quite conservative, but when I told them that I was running, they were so excited. And my mom actually donated to my campaign, which was so nice, and very unexpected. And they've just been extremely positive. They're like, we know you're a good person. We know that you care about other people. And we know that that's what Iowa needs right now. So having, people who honestly, we disagree on many things, but that they can see that I'm running because they believe that my heart's in the right place has been really nice. Also, just I've gotten an overwhelmingly positive response for my run. Um, I know that's partly because I'm in a mixed district and the person who is currently in my seat is not popular. um, but, it still feels nice to have people say, thanks for stepping up and thank you for running. So that's what's been keeping me going. Also, of course, big shout out to my husband and my cats because they have to deal with me all the time. So my husband is a saint. He's going to be out helping me door knock. Um, he's been picking up a lot of slack at home with all of the events I've been going to. So, yeah, big shout out to my husband as well.
That's amazing. We love supportive families.
Yes.
What's something that you've learned about yourself from campaigning specifically?
So I have learned that I can do a lot more than I thought I could. So, in high school too, like I was an extracurriculars girly. So I was in choir, which was 3 hours twice a week and a 2 week tour every summer. I was in dance 25 hours a week. Um, I volunteered. I had a part-time job. I was doing all of these things when I was younger. And then I got to college and I was doing less things. And then I became an adult and I was working. And I'm like, how did I do all of those things all of the time and still have time to do literally anything else? So I was honestly a little bit terrified of the huge amount of time that my campaign was going to take. And it definitely does. It's a huge time suck. But I've been using my calendars and I've been going back to making lists and talking to my therapist. Shout out to therapists everywhere. You guys are goats. Um, and really just telling myself it's okay. You can do hard things and you can still have time for yourself so that you don't go completely insane. So that's something that I've definitely learned about myself through this campaign is I can do hard things. I hate talking on the phone and I've been doing it constantly. I get a little bit nervous when I have to go out and meet people. I've been doing that. I get really stressed out when I feel like I'm overscheduling myself. I've been making it work. So, we adapt and change is scary, but yeah, we can do it.
Yeah. Why should the constituents of your house district vote for you?
So I think that the constituents of my district should vote for me because I love to listen to other people's concerns and I love problem solving. I want to make people's lives better and I really truly hope that they believe me when I say that because it is the truth. I wouldn't be running otherwise. I'm not doing this for personal glory or because I thought it was just something really cool to try to do. Like I said, I never wanted to do this, but I feel like I need to. And so I really hope that my constituents can see that. I'm going to be coming very soon to be knocking on your doors. I hope that you answer, and I hope that you tell me what you really want out of your representative because I want to be that for you.
So where can the viewers find you? Where can they donate? What's your website?
Yes. So my website is the same as all of my social media handles. So it's cravenforchange.com. So that's my last name, Craven, number four, change.com. My Act Blue is linked on there. You can also just search my name, Annie Craven, Act Blue into Google. It'll pop right up. All of my handles again are Craven for Change. And I'm also having my launch party on January 24th. So those details and how to RSVP are on my website and my social media. So another thing is I'm speaking at the next caucus meeting on January 13th for the Southeast area Dallas County Democrats. So if you want to meet me in person and ask me questions, please come. You don't have to RSVP or ask ahead. You just show up and sign in. So, and that's going to be at Prairie View Schools in Milwaukee.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
That's it. That's all the questions.
Okay.
I know there were some really hard-hitting ones in there
No,
that
those were
were,
really good questions. You guys did a good job putting that list together. I hope I didn't ramble too much.
no, you did great.
Okay, good.
All right. Cravenforchange.com and
Yes.
Craven for Change across all social media.
Mhm.
Definitely go check those out and contribute and volunteer and do all of the things.